Yo, 2026 and the link is feeling cold. Stories of a super runner getting kinda old. Jalen under fire, say his vision's getting tight. Calling them uncoachable every single night. AJ in the trade, got me in my feels. Mr. Hollywood is the brownest on the field. Man, he ain't calling plays, I'll be searching for the spark. Eagles flying solo, hunting shadows in the dark. Vrabel and Russini trying to launch a master plan. Ever since the photos got you sitting with the fans. Draft day approaching, how we sitting on this perch. Gotta fill some holes, so you know he's on the search. 10 toes down with the Eagles on the scene. Watching out for Cap, cause your boy is bleeding green. Searching through the trending topics, info moving slow. Pro fan talk, always keep you in the know. Pro fan talk. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro fan talk. Where the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. Pro fan talk. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro fan talk. Where the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. Pro fan talk.
There we go. Hold on for a folk. This is an overlay. So what are we doing? Let's go. There we go. What's going on, y'all? Good morning. Happy Saturday to you. Oh, getting some things. Got up early, cooked the wife breakfast. Figured I'd jump on. We'll go out, do some shopping, get her some flowers, get some stuff for Mother's Day. Yeah, her Mother's Day is just doing a whole lot of nothing. So got breakfast up today, and then we'll figure out what she wants to eat tomorrow, whether I'm gonna cook for her or if she wants me to go pick it up to eat. It's all on her. So, but in any case, man, I was thinking about this. And I was like, man, let me go ahead and jump on and say what I got to say. Good morning, first of all. That's rude of me. Good morning, Lester Johnson. Thank you. I appreciate your appreciation. Frado, what's going on? Darth Panda, what's going on? Arthur, what's going on? Let me see. What are we saying? Let's go through these questions first. So the reporter, Berdar, said his final price for A.J. Brown, in his opinion, is a 28 first. That is nothing Howie isn't doing for a first 2 years out. You know what? It all depends, man. Because Howie, I don't know. We gonna find out in a couple of weeks. So we don't know how they're gonna look at it. We don't really know what Howie is working on and what he's actually looking at. We all guessing. You know the rules, man. We all guessing. We don't know what they're gonna do. We just think that we do. So you could be 100% correct. I have no idea. And you could be 100% right now. You could be dead on right now. And then 2 days later, everything changes. So don't really know what's going on and don't really know what Howie's motivation is. All we know is A.J. Brown is an Eagle. That's all we know. But I kind of wanted to get into this morning. Not going to be before you too long, man. But I saw this. You see my background right now. This came across my Twitter timeline today. This was from Max Kellerman. I like Max Kellerman a lot. I've been waiting for him to get back kind of like on the, like get back in the groove. Because he was like a no nonsense type of dude. I like when him and Stephen A was together. I don't know how everything fell apart. I don't get too much into the details. All I know is Max Kellerman. I think it kind of fell apart when I think Terrell Owens told Stephen A Max Kellerman was blacker than he was. Because Max Kellerman knows his stuff. Max Kellerman appreciates Black history and all of that type of stuff. Used to be a rapper, so he was in the culture. You know how it is. I'm sure if he brought up them old videos of him rapping in New York, he would be a little bit embarrassed. But it is what it is. Everybody got a pass. But I like Max Kellerman because Max Kellerman knew his stuff, did his homework. Not saying that anybody else didn't, but Max Kellerman, in my opinion, when he was on the air every day, Max Kellerman was not about that bullshit. Max Kellerman was not coming to play. And I'm not saying that he came in and just roasted everybody and like it wasn't like that. It just, in my opinion, he took what he was doing seriously. If he was on the topic, he did research, he did homework, he came in prepared. Um, and there was a time where everybody did that, and then it changed. Then social media became social media. YouTube became YouTube, and then everybody started going towards the clicks and the traffic rather than telling the truth, being honest, and giving an honest and real opinion. And the problem is that the audience took the bait to the salacious stuff, to the traffic. They took the trending news and all of that type of stuff, whether it was important or not. That's the problem. Guys like Max Kellerman and many others, uh, the audience doesn't want the real. That's why you got so many podcasts and stuff like that that get to yelling most of the time. Like I've yelled sometimes. I remember when I live streamed the Super Bowl, I was yelling my ass off, but that was from a place of excitement and exhilaration, not from just loud, 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 loud. Like what's the guy's name on? He's one of the biggest Twitch streamers. What's the guy's name? Not Speed. What's the other one? He irks me so bad. Kai Sinet, ain't that his name? That dude, I'm like, I can't even understand what he's saying because all he does is yell. And it's like, dude, just like calm down, man. It's like you ain't gotta, everybody knows that person. You've had that person in your life, whether it was in high school or college or something like that. Every time they came around, it's like they had to be the loudest person in the room. And it's like, yo, I'm right here, dude. Chill. Like, if they didn't yell directly in your face, then they would miss the opportunity to talk to you. That's how they come across. I don't know if they're like that. I don't watch his content, but I've seen enough of it to know that no, I don't want to. I'm getting tired of listening to him. He yells too much, and there's a lot of guys that do that. They don't want to talk to you. They want to yell at you, and it's like, ugh. But again, the problem is that there is a huge audience for that. A huge audience for that. Derek, Lester, I appreciate your comment from the rip, because one thing that I always try to do is I always try to say I try to keep it 100 and keep the toxic on the bench, because I want to talk. I want to talk to all. Yes, I am a former Philadelphia Eagle. Yes, I'm still in the New Jersey, South Jersey, Philadelphia area. However, I got friends that play for all the NFL teams. I got high school friends that play for the Rams and play for the Vikings and play for the Cowboys. So I got friends, and then my friends have friends that I've been introduced to, So, one of my good friends, Jason Dunn, went to college at Eastern Kentucky together. You know what I mean? He played 4 years with the Birds, but then he played 8 years with the Chiefs. So he does Chiefs content. We can still talk and converse and have a conversation and understand, because we old school. We OGs now, that there are levels to every conversation. There are levels to it. This Dianna Russini thing, and I got to stop saying that. I'm trying to get myself out of saying that. This Mike Vrabel thing and Dianna Russini thing, Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini, because we have a tendency to lump it all on her. So, and they equal opportunity offenders. You know what I'm saying? But that's how the game goes. That's the built-in double standard that everybody talks about. There is a double standard. Let's be real. The problem is we go back to the audience. What does the audience accept? And the problem is there's just as many women that'll benefit from the double standard as men. Whether you talk about it, being about it, all of that type of stuff, don't make it right. Don't make it right. I talk about the players' wives and the coaches' wives and stuff like that, and they talk and they know anything. And I guess my question is this: how many? Because I heard Elle Duncan. We'll get into Elle Duncan in a minute. I heard her comment. I thought she was spot on. How many women in that circle How many women knew what was going on, didn't say anything, was mind my own business, this, that, and the other? Because technically that's what you should do. They two grown folks, they two consenting adults. They just choosing a wrong lifestyle. I can't even say it's a decision anymore. They made that decision years ago, and they continue to live in that lifestyle. So how many, I get, and again, my question is, and this is specifically towards the females and the women, how many people have seen that, didn't say nothing? Not my business, keep it moving. Even in your own life, and I said this before, whether it's in your school, your classroom, your job, your, your church, wherever you are, everybody has seen something like this. Everybody has recognized something like this. And sometimes it ain't your place to call it out. It's not your place. What happens? And I'm throwing a serious hypothetical here. What happens if it comes out that in both situations, in Vrabel and Russini, what happens if both their spouses knew about it and just didn't act on it? What happens then? What happens if what's her name? I don't know what Vrabel's wife's name is. I think is it Beth? I'm not sure. What happens if his wife knew about this for years and just never acted on it because she ain't want to mess up what she had going, so she ain't care? Maybe what happens if she had a sneaky leak on the side? What happens if Russini's husband was the same way? What happens if, because allegedly they got the PI came from Russini's husband? Allegedly, it hasn't been confirmed, I don't believe. But how long has he been following this? How long has he been dealing with this? And how long has he let it happen? Because at the end of the day, you can do what you want to do. People will only do to you what you let them. And the flip side of that is you as an individual have every right to bounce when you feel it's time for you to bounce. How come they didn't do it? You can say kids, you can say keep the kids together, keep the family together. You don't want to be embarrassed, all of that. There's no wrong answers because everybody's different. I know some people, again, everybody has seen this person in high school and or college. They know this person. This person is I'm from Detroit. I'm from wherever. And they just get that loud, aggressive attitude. And they just think that they're going to walk up and be about it, and ain't nobody doing me like that. And they got the type of personality where if they think something's going on, they are out in front, loud, and letting everybody know that this is what I think it is, regardless of what it is or isn't. They could be 100% wrong, and then they'll apologize later. But most of the times, the apology ain't as loud as the disrespect. But everybody knows somebody like that. Goes back to what I said earlier, like, damn, why you so loud? You ain't gotta. I never forget this. I was at another job, and this girl was wild, nice, good at what she did. She was just wild, and I'm not saying that as a disrespectful. It was what it was. She would tell you. And then one day she came to work and she was telling everybody about her experience. She was talking to one girl in particular, but she was talking so loud that everybody could hear. And she knew that. And what she was saying, I was like, yo, we really don't need to be hearing about this. And she kept repeating it over. And finally, somebody was like, yo, can you take that conversation somewhere else? Why you standing by the manager's office and all? Like, some people are like that. Like, they don't care. They just want everybody to know. And the stuff that she was talking about was way out of bounds. But her logic was, I'm grown, you grown. But yeah, we in the workplace. So I'm surprised she didn't get a HR thing. But it didn't. But still, it was like, woof. And I'll say that to say that there are some people, we wouldn't do it. Everybody looked at somebody else's situation and be like, oh, that couldn't have been me. Ain't that the phrase? Couldn't have been me. Everybody says that until they find themselves in that situation. Everybody says what they not going to do until they find themselves in that situation, because most of the time we talk from a position of never having that type of experience. So the phrase should be, I don't think I would do that. Because I know a lot of people have said what they're not going to do until they find themselves in a situation, and then guess what they do? You never know what's going on in somebody else's head. That's the other part of this. We just assuming that Mike Vrabel's a great guy, that Dianna Russini was a nice woman. We just assuming that. We don't know what's making them tick. We don't know what they do behind closed doors. How many times have you seen somebody, a crazy situation happens, good, bad, or indifferent, and you on the outside because you know that person and you shaking your head like, damn, I didn't think they had it in them. I didn't know they could do something like that. I talk to that person every day. I didn't know anything was wrong. Like, we forget how good people know how to hide stuff like that. And the funny part is, they wasn't hiding. If they got all of this footage and photos and all of this kind of stuff going back to 2021, clearly they wasn't hiding. If somebody wanted to see it, they could have seen it, which is why I go back to, what did the spouses really know? Take the kids out of it. What did the spouses really know? Because now all of a sudden they pulling up photos from everywhere. They was on the boat. They got playlists, all of that type of stuff. And if you getting pictures of people in public, that means somebody else saw them. I know they got the pictures in the bar. They wasn't the only people in that bar. It looked like at a casino or something like that. Wherever they were, there was a lot of people in there. So somebody saw something at some point in time. And then I guarantee you, it's people that saw it, looked at it, and was like, none of my business. And they take a risk. Or are they? Again, you don't know what the situation is with spouses. You don't know what's going on in their house. It's crazy. It's crazy. Dude, bruh, 100%. 100%. It sells until it does not. It's good until it isn't. You are 100% right. There'll be something that happens, something, and it'll take over the trending news, and it'll finally die down until, because like this stuff has been a slow drip of information. It was a picture, then it was a couple days, then it was another picture, then it was a couple days, then it was a video clip, then it was a couple of days, then it was a playlist, then it was a couple. It's been like coffee, man. It's a slow drip of just information coming out. So I don't know what I don't know. But I guess like going back to the question, why do we care so much? Why are we so invested? The easy answer is because as a society, we just fucking nosy. We just nosy. We all in everybody's business. Even when you act like you not, you still kind of, even though you looking over here, your ear is focused on what's going on over there. We nosy. Everybody, we've seen it's like a meme on Instagram where the person is in the house and then you hear all the gunshots and arguing and all this kind of stuff. And then whoever's in the house, it's like they peeking through the blinds so they can see what's going on. We nosy. We nosy. And people will never pass up an opportunity to knock somebody down a peg that's above them in one way, shape, or form. Be it by salary, be it by visibility, be it by power, be it whatever. Nobody's going to pass up an opportunity to chop Vrabel down a notch. It happens to us all the time. And I'm saying us, like black athletes that make a lot of money. Boy, they take every opportunity to chop us down. Every chance they get. Look at what they did to Adoka. Look at what they did to Sharon from Michigan. And somebody asked this question, and a lot of people don't want to talk about the isms and the ists, but keep it 100. If Mike Vrabel was a black coach, come on, y'all. You already know. They just slice his dice his ass right on up out of New England with the quickness. They'd have been in week 3 of a new head coach search. Or they would just gave it to what you call it, the coordinator. So, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. If look at all the bullshit Kraft did. Slap on the wrist. If that. Because when you're dealing with this level of money, you got to be real. They ain't messing up the money. They ain't messing up the money. Dude, you already know, Chris. He'd have been out of there. Just as a comp, look at how quick they jumped on and acted upon everything that happened with Joy Taylor. Take out the right, wrong, moral aspect of it. Look how quick they acted on that. She was off of TV for a hot minute. When all of this stuff got released, the only reason she stayed on TV is because it was alleged. And they didn't want to go down that road. But when they had concrete on what did or didn't happen, she was out of there. Look at how quick they acted on that. Look at how quick Acho got up out of there. When these people want to do something bad enough, they will find a way to do it. Period. Doesn't matter how much it costs. Doesn't matter what it ends up being, because they know they're going to come out on the other side. No. My point is, Jason, I know the situation was different, but my point is, look at how quickly they acted upon it. Look at how quickly, and the other part of this is, was there anybody that didn't want to talk about Joy Taylor getting fired? Jason Whitlock just doubled his platform talking about that and all of his stuff that he talks about. Look, my point is, it ain't about whether it's right or wrong. Take the morals out of it. Take your feelings out of it. And just look at it from the standpoint of, just look how quickly they acted on it. And Vrabel still going to press conferences and pep rallies and getting standing ovations. Like, he ain't catching no smoke. And I asked this before. I asked this last week. So in this particular situation, clearly there was a relationship. Clearly there was a relationship. They wasn't just screwing each other. Let's just, for the sake of argument, let's just say all of Russini's kids are between her and her husband. Let's just assume that. And you on the boat with a chick that's 6, 7, 8 months pregnant, and y'all hanging out. That don't even look right. There's nothing good about it. That's pretty much as bad as you can get. And then you got everybody else connecting dots and all this type of stuff. And that's one of the things that Max Kellerman was saying that I disagree with. He used it like a dismissive thing, like everybody's trying to connect the dots. Like, they ain't trying to do nothing. They connecting the dots. It's a clear timeline of activity. But my point is that there is no question of what there was something going on between them two. And they are slow to act when it comes to back to the comp between like Joy Taylor or the Boston coach Udoka or the Michigan coach Sharon. They acted on that swiftly and immediately. Now, they still had to go through the process, but they got him out of there. They got him out of there with the quickness. You dealing with Vrabel and Russini. Russini is the one catching all the hell. She catching the strays. And then people still talking about, people in the industry still talking. Max Kellerman did it to a degree. They still talking about, yeah, I'm just not comfortable talking about this because I know Dianna Russini. She's been cool with me for years. Like, I get that. But you know what? Some of these jokers talk to NFL players, baseball players, basketball players every day. And you build relationships with these people every day. And when something go out between them and a girlfriend or a baby mama or something like that, they get somebody pregnant, front page news, and they ain't afraid to report the story. Now they all of a sudden afraid. What's up with that? Like, it ain't even. I did that video, was it 2 weeks ago, where I was like, keep that same energy for all these other dudes. Y'all don't want to talk about Russini because y'all friends and you trying to protect the family and this, that, and the other. You worried about that. Keep that same energy with all these other athletes that go through this same shit. You didn't keep that energy with Stephon Diggs. And they found out that girl was lying with the quickness. But they still drug him through the mud. So all I'm saying is keep that same energy. People still doing the same thing. People still going off that same tip of, she was a friend. I don't want to get involved in this messy. I'm not about that. I'm like, stop it. It ain't never stopped you before for anybody else. Never. Now, all of a sudden, because it's Dianna Russini, now are we going to talk about the ists and the isms again? You got racism, favoritism, nepotism. You got all them isms that favor because everybody knows her. Remember the girl? What's the girl? What's the good-looking girl? The NFL sideline reporter that everybody came down on her head because she said sometimes she got to make up the reports because she don't get to the coaches in time. Who was that? I can't remember who that was. But at the end of the day, if it had been if that had been Pam Oliver, they would have flame broiled her. So everybody like missed me with the I don't want to talk about it because let's just stick to football. Like, oh, now you want to stick to football. Now you just want to stick to the facts. Now you want to take the high road. You ain't take the high road with Deshaun Watson, and that looks suspect from the giddy up. So, you pick and choose. People pick and choose when what they want to do. Carissa, thank you. Was that Carissa Thompson? Yeah. And when I heard what she said, when I heard what Carissa Thompson said, I was like, that makes sense because I've heard some of them reports that they got to do with them coaches, and clearly that's a problem with me, anyways. That's a pet peeve of mine. Stop talking to coaches when they're trying to get in the locker room and they just got their ass kicked in the first half. They do not want to talk. Why should they have to talk to you? And when she said what she said, I knew exactly what she was talking about. That is what we call coach speak. When they talk about, we got to convert on third down, hold on to the ball, play good defense, blah, 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 blah. My 1-year-old great-grandson could tell me that. They're saying stuff just to get you out of their face so they can get to the locker room and address what they got to address. Because if they don't do that, they could be fired. They could be promoted to fan. And you got somebody in your face, asking Captain Obvious questions. And let me be honest with you. I've seen the situations where you could tell the reporters don't want to ask that, but they got to do their job. It's just a sucky job. What you on the sideline doing? Think about it now. Think about how many times, and they get paid a lot of money, but think about how many times they go to the sideline report. Twice. Somebody get injured. They just saw coach calling a play and he yelled at a player, and like the stuff that they bring in, like most of y'all saw it on television. What's she bringing to the table? And let's be real. She guessing. He guessing. Whoever's on that sideline, you wasn't right there. You not when somebody goes in the medical booth, they are close enough to see that they went in there. They don't have no information. They looking from a distance like everybody else. They got security around there. A lot of them NFL reporters are not allowed in certain places at certain times. So it's the same thing. Those reports are no different than somebody sitting at that first row in the stands behind the bench. Somebody behind the bench could be live on YouTube and give you the same exact information. So, it's that was Carissa Thompson. That wasn't Pam. And Pam Oliver, as much as I like Pam Oliver, I'm like, does she have a medical issue going on? Because sometimes Pam Oliver, like, she talks slow. I was like, and I'm asking that legitimately. Was she have like something going on where is She seemed different because Pam Oliver used to be like on it. So, but in any case, cheating is a part of American culture. Marriage is a facade. 10% honest, faithful. Listen, man, I can't disagree with you, bro. But I'm 29 years into my marriage, bro. 29. I'll be 30 next year. So it's a personality thing. It's a personality thing. But people, what was that? There was a movie. Sean Penn was in the movie, and somebody was asking him about marriage. I don't know if he was like a corrupt cop or something. I cannot remember what this was. I just saw this clip, and he said, everybody, he said, men want the illusion of marriage. They want everybody to think that they got their shit together. They think they got all the toys, the happy house, the kids. They just want people to look like they got it together. I can't remember what movie that was. But thank you, man. Like 29 years last March. I met my wife in 1997 at a nightclub that she didn't want to be. She didn't want to be there. She was there with her cousin. But in any case, but yeah, man, it's a choice. It's a choice that people do these things. And now you're looking at the whole influence of social media and all of that type of stuff. Because quite honestly, I think these days, I think a lot of these women, they get more enamored with the actual marriage, or I'm sorry, they get more enamored with the actual wedding than they do the marriage. They put more work into the wedding than they do the marriage. Oh, I'm getting that dreaded message, y'all. I don't know if y'all saw my post yesterday. The time has come for me, like it does everybody in this country. My iPhone is full, so I got to go through this weekend and get rid of a whole bunch of stuff. Jason is, yeah, I don't, marriage is not the facade. It's just like, it's the people, it's the personalities. Everybody gets influenced. Like, listen, like, think about it like this, right? Social media is the manifestation of your mother telling you, if your friends jump off a bridge, you gonna jump too? Think about it. That's what social media is. When you was growing up, your mom said, if your friends jumped off a bridge, does that mean you gonna jump too? That's exactly what social media is. Now, me being born in 1970, I'm an OG. I was raised on freeze tag and hose water. So my experience is different than a lot of these kids. I grew up getting smacked upside of the head. I grew up where my dad whooped my behind. My dad used to tear my ass up all the time with a belt. Let me keep it real with you. With a belt. My dad used to pick me up with one hand and whoop me. But the one thing my dad would always do, my dad would sit me down and he said, look, I don't want to have to whoop you, but if you do it again, I'm going to get you again. And then he would give me a hug, tell me he loved me, and then go get some ice cream or something like that. So it wasn't one without the other. It wasn't abuse. If I'm lying and I'm stealing, I'll never forget something that sticks with me to this day. I was 8 years old, 9 years old. Can't remember. We was living in St. Louis, and I stole a pack of gum from a Kmart. Went to Kmart with my mom. Stole a pack of gum. My mom saw me, kids stupid. So I steal the pack of gum. I get in the car and I can't wait till I get home. I open it up in my car. And of course, my mom was like, where you get that gum from? And me, like a dummy, I try to throw my twin sister under the bus. Like, my sister Melanie gave it to me. My sister looked at me like, no, I didn't. Like, what people do when they panic. My mom turned the car around, marched me right back in that store, marched me right up to the checkout aisle, and like, she gave me the money and she made me say out loud, this is for the gum. This is for the gum that I stole. Like, say it louder. Like, she made me say that. And I never forget, when I got home, I thought my dad was going to tear my ass up because my dad didn't play that stealing shit. I thought my dad was gonna tear my ass up. My dad, and then when he finally got home from work, and I'm in my room, you know, when you stay in your room, you don't want to go nowhere. You want to act like, because I knew I didn't want to see him, but my dad called me in the living room. It was just me and him in there. My dad was in tears. And I didn't know what to do. Because I'm like, this is not what I expected. My dad was in tears. And he was like, dude, you got everything. I buy you all the games, all the toys, the bike. You got everything you want. Why would you steal? You have no reason to steal. Why would you do that? Like, and I totally threw me off. I wasn't expecting that. That's the first time I ever seen my dad cry like that. Outside of somebody passing away. And changed my life. You have a different perspective. And I'm saying all that to say the experiences that I had as a kid growing up in the 70s and in the 80s, and everybody else that grew up in that era, in those decades, it was different. We still had, it takes a village of people. You still had, I could still look at most of my friends around the neighborhood, their parents was married. We didn't have Housewives of LA. We didn't have all of that other bullshit. So we didn't have the distractions and the influences that these kids have today. My sister's a teacher. And sometimes I'll call her or she'll call me and I don't say a thing. She just vents for 20 minutes off of the bullshit she got to deal with these dumbass kids. Because they ain't got no home training. Because, in my opinion, these kids now are the children of the kids that was raised by their parents like they was friends. We dealing with the kids and the grandkids of that generation, that first generation where everybody, the government started making it illegal to discipline your children. They'll throw you in jail if you whoop your kids with a belt, all of that type of stuff. When that started, that's when everybody started being friends with their kids. You saw it on television, you know, all these different. Remember, I couldn't believe when I would see people on TV and the kids would call their parents by their first name. I was like, what is this magic? What is this dark magic? What is this wizardry? I wish I would come in the house talking about, hey, Charles. Man, my dad would have knocked me half across the room. So what that did was break down the level of respect. A lot of these kids don't respect grown-ups. I was at my granddaughter's track meet. Y'all saw that stream? I'm filming her, and I see a couple of young ladies down there on a high school girls amongst themselves talking, and they just cussing and this, that, and the other. And it was just it wasn't like it was a bad conversation, but it's like you can have that conversation and not cuss. And the funny part was, not 4 feet from them was a grown couple watching a child or watching, I don't know if they coaches, who were they, but clearly it was a married couple, older couple, watching the track meet. And these people were 4 feet away. And it was like, they didn't care. And I'm like, when I grew up, if you was close to grown folks, if a stranger saw you cursing or heard you cursing, they would shoot you that look. Like, nah, you don't do that around here. We don't have that culture no more. We're not neighbors no more. So, and that goes down the pipe. And this is what we end up with. This is what we end up with. Because now everybody going back to the Russini thing. We looking at Russini because stuff like this is status quo. This is normal. This is normal housewives of wherever behavior. I'm surprised they ain't had a housewives of the NFL yet. If somebody comes out with that show, I want to be paid. I came up with the idea today on this show. Stop playing with me. I want my percentage. But yeah, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. I envy all of the technology that exists today for people today, but I would growing up when I grew up, learning the stuff that I learned, we don't have that no more, and it's a big problem. And you get shit like this because nobody has any account of how the hell you gonna drag Dianna Russini through the mud, and Mike Vrabel is going to pep rallies. I don't get it. Because my thing is like, I want to see now me. I want to see Dianna Russini get a job. I want to, whatever her next job is, I'm watching. You got my support. Because if he can do what he did and not catch no smoke, then you should be able to do what you did and not catch no smoke either. Keep it fair. I ain't gotta like you, but I want to see what her next thing is. Because whatever she do next, because now, like, she hold all the cards. She holds all the cards. Because her situation right now, how could it be worse? There's only one thing, and I think we talked about this on another stream. There's only one thing that could be worse than what's going on for her now. One thing. And that would be if it turned out that that child is his. And that's wildly hypothetical right now. So I don't know. That's the only thing that I could see that would make this situation worse. And I don't necessarily believe that that's the case. But the other part of me is like, the common sense is like, why the hell you go hang out with somebody that's pregnant? Why are you doing that? That don't make sense to me. You see what I'm saying? You looking at it and you trying to, the benefit of the doubt is like one thing, and then your common sense is like, but again, that goes back to what I just said. Common sense is at an all-time low these days, bro. Common sense is at an all-time low. Because these folks around here is just straight up nuts. Don't even make sense, man. Listen, Panda, let me tell you why that's not true. Well, let me say it like this. Let me say it like this. You're right. But she don't have to. He got to face the fire every day. And I hope everybody, every chance somebody get an opportunity to ask her or ask him about the scandal, that they do. Because he getting off scot-free. And there's been players that have done a hell of a lot less and received much more scrutiny and criticism. So you know what? Everybody get a turn. Now it's his turn. And all of these media outlets are tucking their head in the sand because they don't want to talk about their friend. I'm like, man, miss me with that mess. Do your job. So, but I don't think it matters. And a good follow-up is Dirty Diana can't be on mainstream TV. She can still get a job. Absolutely. That's exactly where I was headed, Herb. That's exactly where I was headed. This is the thing that people got to realize. What I'm doing on YouTube and all of these people, we get more views than anybody else. We get more views in some situations than terrestrial television. NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox. We get more views on YouTube than a lot of them get watching television. Nobody watches TV no more. It has been proven that media is consumed on a mobile device more than anything else. So she don't, to your point, she doesn't have to be on NBC. She don't have to be on Good Morning America. I believe she's going to be on one of those shows because somebody's going to pay a shit ton of money to get her story. But here's the thing. Why they going to pay a shit ton of money? Because they know all of the clips and the shorts that they put on their social media and on their YouTube channel, the traffic that they're going to generate and the revenue they're going to generate from that traffic, because of that, is worth it. So if they pay her $1 million for her story on Good Morning America, the money they're going to make off of that, they're going to make 10 times that much with the traffic they're going to get. Listen, as long as I've been doing YouTube, I'm in YouTube on my 4th year, I believe. This is my 4th year doing YouTube. Seriously, doing YouTube. Before, I was using YouTube like it was MySpace or something like that. My bad, I didn't know. But at the end of the day, my goal is I want to be able to have one of these conversations in a live chat, but I still want to have like 15,000 people. I've seen some of these YouTubers and they got this many people, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, 20,000 people live watching them. That is better than some of these television shows that be on TV. It's not like it used to be where Everybody tuned in Thursday at 7 p.m. for the Cosby Show. Everybody did that. You know why? Because there weren't distractions. There was cable, but there weren't distractions. If you had cable, cable was synonymous with HBO. If you had cable, that means you had HBO. ESPN wasn't popping yet when I was growing up. ESPN didn't happen till 1984 when Jordan hit. ESPN started in 78. Nobody knew what it was. Ooh, cool. Sports all the time. What they playing? Cricket? I don't watch cricket. That's how ESPN was back in the day. 84 hits. Jordan gets drafted. The Bulls start. Be like Mike. Then every other highlight was Jordan Duncan. Then after it was Jordan Duncan, then it was Dominique Duncan, Dr. J. Duncan, Charles Barkley Duncan. Then the highlights started. That's when ESPN took off with the highlights. Da-da-da, da-da-da. That was the highlight jingle. And every morning before you get on the school bus, kids would watch the ESPN Sports Center in the morning for the highlights because they would see all the Jordan's dunks before they got on the school bus. Then when they came home from school, there was a 5 o'clock. I believe it was either I think it was a 5 o'clock Sports Center that would show the same show, show the same highlights. So if you missed it in the morning, you could check it out at night. And then there was a 7 o'clock prime time that was all new stuff. So they understood the culture. So that's a good question, bro. Malika Andrews been taking some heat about that because Udoka and Marone, she was on top of them stories. And again, I asked the question when it's somebody else, if it was a black dude, boy, they own it lickety split. They own it quick fast. Now everybody shuffling their feet. Everybody just taking their time. Everybody taking their time. Panda, people don't understand that. I believe some people don't even this era of people don't even know what tape delay means, in my opinion. Just imagine if you had I don't think people understand that comment. The finals, the NBA finals was on tape delay, meaning they played the game, hustled back to the hotel so they could watch it on television. It wasn't live. So most people, y'all don't understand what it was like back then. Y'all don't understand the distractions we didn't have back then. So, yes, she is a weirdo. But you know why she can be a weirdo? Because of the way she looks. And now she's in it, and everybody's scared to call her on the carpet for some of the stuff. That's why. Because I've seen a couple of articles where like, hey, where's Malika Andrews? How come she ain't commenting on Vrabel and Russini? And as far as I know, she still hasn't. But when it was Sharon, when it was, when it was Udoka, she skewered Udoka. She was on that platform for a while, which is why she catching so much heat now. Like, hey, how come you ain't saying nothing about old boy? But it is what it is. It is what it is. But that's the other thing. Because let's look at ESPN as an entity. How come ESPN ain't covered this? ESPN has tiptoed around this. They walked on eggshells around this for a while. I don't understand why. So, it is what it is. I've heard that before, Jason, with Malika. I've heard it. In this situation where there's smoke, there's fire, which is why she ain't saying much. Or she ain't even answering the accusations. Like, the thing is like, I'm not going to lower myself to even answer that. That's about as bad as Vrabel saying that this was laughable. Remember that? So, it is what it is, man. So these people, it's just a different ball game. Yeah, say still try to get into the politics and all that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, it's iffy. It's a blurry road in my opinion because everybody flip flops so damn much. Say still now they coming back. Stephen A. Smith done said something, but 2 years ago he was saying something 180 degrees different. Like it's all crazy. Like it's all everybody, you know, like what you want from. It is what it is. And my thing is like, listen, at the end of the day, I can turn it off. The greatest invention known to man is the on-off switch, and I choose to use it. Most people do not. Most people do not. I am so proud of myself that for the most part, I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you and say like every time or I'm 100%. For the most part, when I get crazy toxic stuff, and I don't get a lot, but I every now and then somebody will say something off the handle. And a lot of times I will choose and I'll read it and I'm like, all right, I always think of Herm Edwards. Don't press send. Don't press send. Herm Edwards said that how many years ago? And it still rings true today. So I tend to, before I send something, I've erased a lot of tweets and responses and stuff like that because I'm like, it's probably not going to go in this direction, but the possibility exists. So what I'm going to do is just not deal with it. Usually my line is, if somebody doesn't agree with what I have to say and they're not interested into conversating about it, if they just want to say what you think is stupid, you crazy, you clown, this, that, and the other, if they go straight into that, my response is usually my opinion does not require your approval. Or I'll say something like, well, when you get your podcast started, let me know so I can come on and look at your opinions and views. So this space is like coaching. Everybody want to tell a coach how they should coach their kid. And I'm like, listen, man, it's a whole box of extra whistles over there and ain't nobody grabbing them. All you want to do is stay on the sideline and comment on people who's making the comments. That's what it's come down to. Everybody want to have something to say just so they can say that they had something to say. I heard that too, but again, who was they, Kwame? Who was they? That's other people guessing. That's who they is. So I'm not like, now if it comes out and it's proven some way, shape, or form, okay, then we'll take that next step. But they and sources and all of that stuff, that's a lot of bullshit. That's a lot of bullshit. And I'm still of the ilk that I don't want to deal with that. If if I know it's for real, and let me be honest with you, I try to pride myself into when I look at, because I work with graphics, because I work with 3D animation, because I use AI on an everyday basis. I try to pride myself in knowing what I'm looking at. And me, somebody that's experienced looking at this stuff, it's getting harder and harder to tell. Or you at least got to do more and more homework to figure out what's real and what isn't. But you can do that. The problem is the majority of the people that's filling in all of these clicks, that's driving the traffic and the algorithms, they don't care. They don't do the homework. They don't. So I hope not. I really hope. We done played overseas the past. We played Brazil and then we played Germany, I think. So yeah, can we stay home, please? Send somebody else. I don't want the Eagles to go overseas. Send somebody else. But it's going to be what it's going to be, man. It's going to be what it's going to be. So, and if the algorithm is watching, this would be a great time to put an ad in on my video. I just want to say that just to see if it helps. I've really been jumping into my analytics lately. So I'm really trying to steer this channel in the right direction. So I've really taken I'm really diving into auditing my channel and trying to really figure out and parse out all of the information that you guys like the most, and I'm trying to focus on that stuff. So, and I did an audit the other day, and it literally it told me, yeah, you should talk about Russini and Vrabel a little bit more. So here we are, and then we'll get into the NFL stuff. 9 international games this year. Oh, we did. So we did. I thought we went somewhere else. So we only went to Brazil. All right, yeah. Let somebody else go. Give somebody else a chance. So the new model of journalism seems to be first and figure it out if you're right or wrong later. 100%. You hit the nail on the head on that one, bro. That's the bullseye. Everybody wants to be first, or everybody wants to tell you that they said it 3 weeks ago. Listen to Cal Hurd, Stephen A, Get Up, First Take. Listen to Good Morning Football. Listen to all of them shows, and almost every show, somebody's going to say something to the effect of, remember when I said this? I said this 3 weeks ago. I said this 2 months ago. I said this was going to happen last year. Everybody wants to pull up and like pull their receipts. Like they was the first one to do it. And what I've discovered is a lot of people like Cowherd. Like Cowherd is big with this. Like he'll say something. The Eagles are not gonna win. Eagles are not gonna win. Eagles. They ain't got a chance to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They're not gonna win the Super Bowl. And then one day, he done had a month worth of 30 days worth of saying how bad the Chiefs are gonna beat up on the Eagles in the Super Bowl. And then on one day, he says, well, if the Eagles defense plays like they're capable of playing, if they, play their best game, they got a chance to win. He says that one day, and the Eagles whoop ass, and then he skips all the other 30 days of ripping on the Eagles, and he'll find that one clip when he finally said something positive, and he'll lead with that. Like, that's all he's been saying. They talk on both sides of it. They talk on both sides of it. So, oh my God. We're talking about the best ice cream flavors in Philly. That's funny. That's funny, dude. That's funny. We got local. You know what's funny, man? I talked to my sister. My twin is in Atlanta, right? And my oldest sister, she lives out in Portland. And like my twin sister, I'm always talking about all the different places we can go eat, because whether you in South Jersey or whether you over in Philly, everywhere you go, there's a mom and pop place. There's a little bodega. There's an Italian spot. There's a hoagie spot. We got Wawas everywhere. We got Chinese food. We got Chinese restaurants that cook soul food. We got Jamaican places. We got Caribbean. We got all of this stuff. And we got a whole bunch of not to mention all of the mom and pop ice cream and water ice and shaved ice places. We got all of that stuff. The mom and pop cheesesteak places. They don't have none of that. All they got down there is chains. So when I tell my sister, I made this thing going on like Cinco de Mayo. I was like, on Cinco de Mayo, if you go to Taco Bell or Chipotle, you being disrespectful. Like, I know there's a local mom and pop Mexican place around here somewhere. So like stuff like that, like they ain't got that, man. So we got it good, man. There's a local ice cream shop right around the corner that's not Rita's. So we be hitting that all the time. Shout out to Creanies in Sickleville. So, but yeah, one of my partners, one of my best friends, his son owns a seafood restaurant right down his way. Shout out to the Sea Bar too in Sickleville. So, yeah, man, we got it. We got love like that down here. I appreciate that, Eric. So, you know what? I'm just looking at this clip. I'm just not realizing that's Rich Paul that Max Kellerman was talking about. I ain't even read it. I'm looking at him like, damn, I know that dude is Rich Paul. So let me see. Do me a favor. Tell me if y'all can hear this. Put a thumbs up if y'all can hear that.
But that's not why people are comfortable. They're using that as a bullshit excuse to be titillated by an affair, right? And it's so disgusting to me because, especially the latest, it comes across my reels and
see, this is the type of stuff I'm like, is ours real low? Yeah, I got to figure out how to make that sound better. Basically, he was talking about the Russini stuff coming across his timeline and how it was disgusting to him, and I'm like, really? Is it that bad? But everything else comes across the timeline, and I'm sure you could probably go through some of his receipts and look at some of the stuff that was talked about. And it doesn't have to be talked about salaciously and stuff like that, but the topic could have been unsavory for whatever reason. So I don't know. But why? I guess that's my question in this whole thing is, why is everybody getting so sensitive now? Why is everybody sensitive now about this? When all this shit done happened to so many athletes, good or bad, some people had it coming. Let's be real. Some people had it coming. Anthony Edwards, you get a girl pregnant and you don't want to deal with her and you put it out there, you pay her off, all of that type of stuff. That's going to be news. When you put that type of stuff out there, especially in the NBA, people going to talk about it. But some people don't deserve it. Did Steph Curry deserve the criticism he was getting when his wife said what she said? They didn't have no problem talking about that. Embarrassing him, and he didn't do nothing. He was doing what he was supposed to do. She the one watching too many episodes of Housewives of whoever, thinking she bigger than where she is. And it's like, oh, that's the problem right there. Like, do you want to be a wife, or do you want to be the person that you saw on Housewives of LA, taking their husband for their money and portraying like you built it on your own? Stop. That's the disconnect I have with that. And a lot of people, a lot of young women watch that stuff and think that's the norm, which goes back to what I was saying. They concentrate on the wedding, not the marriage. If you in the NBA, why in the world would you want to enter that lifestyle and choose to be married? When you look at, because come on, if you know how to read stats, if you're a professional athlete, you know how to read stats. NFL is probably a little bit better because you get a lot of NFL people that's been with this person since high school. But hell, even then, it's still, you're not going to get too many Jalen Hurtses and LeBron James. You don't get too many situations like that. And you got all of these people, then you find out they all sleeping with, there's one girl that slept with like 3 or 4 different people on the team, and this, that, and that. Like, they don't care no more. They are all about getting that bag, period. So, yeah, bruh. It's like, what? Like, why? Why? Like, but that's the era that we are in when it comes to news. Social media is ruling now. Social media is kicking all these networks' ass right now. Straight up. Why you think all of these networks got a YouTube channel? They hoping you sitting on your toilet in the morning watching Fox News reports. Because don't nobody go to their TV. There's too many ways to access that information before you even get to your bedroom or back to it. So, I mean, yeah. But again, I don't disagree with you, Eric. My question is, did Vrabel have it coming to him? How come Vrabel don't have it coming to him? Again, why is everybody? That's why I'm trying to make a concerted effort when we talk about this. Why do I lead with Russini? Why was Russini on the thumbnail when it should have been both of them? Technically, I did that picture of Russini because I thought that was a sexy picture, and I got to generate traffic. That's why I did Russini. But you understand my question? How come Russini ain't taking the smoke? How come he ain't catching no smoke? I don't disagree with what you said. Karma's gonna catch you. But how come he ain't catching no smoke? He got grown kids. The problem with grown kids versus little kids, I don't do that to the kids, blah, 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 blah. Grown kids, everybody know it's crystal clear what his grown kids know exactly what went down. And that makes it worse. You can get over on little kids because they don't know no better. They little. They ain't got no life experience. But if you got grown kids in college, high school and college, they know exactly what's going on. And everybody in their circle will remind them. So for Vrabel, that's worse. And then now we finally at a situation where now every time somebody sees his wife in the grocery store or at, Whole Foods or whatever, everybody going to be pulling out their phone. So she can't even go grab a bushel of bananas in peace. And that's his fault. That's his fault. Because we think, again, we don't know, but we think she was just minding her own business. They've been together since 20 State. So, I don't know. They pulling receipts back from 2021. He ain't smashing that. That's a relationship. Maybe they swingers. I don't know. You don't know what's going on in somebody else's house. That's what I keep saying. So, yeah, they vetting all them questions, man. They know how it is. Like, dude, you work for Robert Kraft. They got caught with the masseuse and all of that type of stuff. And then look at, dude, when you're talking about 3 for 3, think about it. Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick, and now Mike Vrabel. You see the pattern? Robert Kraft gets caught with the massage parlors and all of that nonsense. He's embarrassed. Why you think he ain't in the Hall of Fame? Bill Belichick, he quits. Then he starts messing with some 20-year-old chick that don't know what the hell she doing, and he just letting her have rough shot, because that's probably the best sex he done had in a long time. And then now Mike Vrabel. Like, when you look at the stuff that's been happening, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. And again, Kraft got a slap on the wrist. Belichick was embarrassed, but he ain't do nothing illegal. It's just not a good look. It's just not. So when he gets in the Hall of Fame, is she going to give his speech? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not a good look. This looks like Belichick looks like remember when Hugh Hefner had all them 20-something girls married and living in his mansion and all that? It's just not a good look, no matter how you spin it. That ain't too hard to figure out. Pats are the new Cowboys. Now that you think about it, remember when didn't Jerry Jones get caught up a couple years ago? Somebody he smashed and apparently she was pregnant, or what? I know it was something like that. I know I'm saying that wrong because I didn't, pay attention to it, but I know he got caught up with something like that a couple years ago. So, like, everybody get a turn, man. That's why I look at stuff like that, the stuff that we doing. Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, Big Dom, you know what I'm saying? Just we good. We good up here. We good up here. You say he not catching smoke because people say they don't care. He cheated. When people start caring, he gonna catch hell, and his wife gonna be the reason. White woman, Michonne, yep, she gonna get Erica. Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, she could, in my opinion, she'll get to a point where the tabloid and the paparazzi will get to a point where she like, I got to get out of here. That's depending on that. And that's why I say Dianna Russini holds all the cards. Because if Dianna Russini decides to, like I said, go on Good Morning America and tell her story and just put everything on blast, and that ain't a good look for her. That ain't a good look for her. And it's, in my opinion, stop asking players how they feel about their coach. And I know the Patriots can't control that. But every time there's another player that comes out and says, yeah, that's my coach, I'm riding with him. I know you're supposed to say that, and I know that's how you feel, but just don't say it no more. Don't put it in the public eye no more, because there is going to come a time when somebody, one of your peers, one of your friends, one of your teammates Somebody that you know that's in the same spot as you is going to have the same situation happen to them, and they not going to get all of these afforded luxuries that Vrabel is getting. They're not going to get none of the benefit of the doubt, none of that. One of your friends, one of your teammates would be cut immediately if they got involved with some stuff like this. Why would they say, we don't want to deal with the distraction? That would be the excuse. That's the universal excuse. We don't want to deal with the distraction. Didn't I tell you the Eagles, remember when the Eagles sent that boy home? They cut him from the team right before they was about to go to the Super Bowl for something that happened when he was still in college 2 and 3 years ago, and the girl was jealous and just decided to bring it up now to stop him from going to the Super Bowl, because when it was all said and done, he was exonerated. Why did she sit on that for years and all of a sudden you can just make it happen right now with perfect timing 3 weeks before he's supposed to go to the Super Bowl? Stop playing with me. So when you see all of these players, oh, that's my coach, I'm going to ride with my coach, blah, 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 blah. Be careful. Be careful, because you might find yourself in a situation where you need that leash to be that long, and you ain't going to get it. They're going to promote you to fan, and you're going to be sitting in the 7th row watching the game. Be careful. Some of these players, be careful. And I'm not the first person to say that. I'm not the first person to say that, because people praising Vrabel and all that kind of stuff. And if it was one of their friends, or they would be out the door. So be careful. But they trying to stick with it. And hey, more power to you. But I tell you what might happen is when Dianna Russini finally tells her story, it's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna get blown up. And they don't wanna do that. Because it's a lot of people that's gonna have shown support one side or the other. And when the truth comes out, it ain't gonna look good. It ain't gonna look good. Yes. Thank you. Prime example. Stephon Diggs got cut before the trial. Why you think they're trying so hard to get AJ Brown? Because Stephon Diggs is gone. So, it's how many times has a coach cut a player? It's like, hey, I wish the kid the best, but he got some growing up to do, and we just can't deal with these distractions. How many times has coaches said that about friggin' players? How many times has that happened? And now we're in a situation where it's reversed. And he ain't catching no smoke. He going to pep rallies, getting standing ovations and shit. Come on, man. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. No, I think Stephon Diggs is a free agent right now. I believe so. You know what? I got the internet. Let's find out. Stephon Diggs free agency. Yep. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Bleacher Report claims Vikings wide receiver reunion is on the table. So he is looking for a job. Stephon Diggs is a free agent. Was just found not guilty of assault charges by a Massachusetts jury and played for the Minnesota Vikings for 5 seasons a decade ago. According to the Bleacher Report, he could be a prime target for the Vikings, a club with a wide receiver 3 vacancy. Yes, absolutely. And isn't it funny? Stephon Diggs is a free agent, was just found not guilty of assault charges by a Massachusetts jury, and played for the Minnesota Vikings 5 seasons a decade ago. Like, I love it when they give the information, but they got to stick it in there, right? Stick it right in the middle. They do that to players all the time. Oh, this dude rushed for 1,000 yards. He got arrested in 2027 for drunk driving. Like they always do that at the draft. They always do that at the draft. Somebody got into trouble as a freshman, got arrested at a party, and wasn't even his fault, but it's on the blotter, and they decide to mention it when they bringing up his dossier. And it's like, come on now. Come on. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. So, it is what it is, man. It's I don't know, man. Why do we care so much? What happens with this story? Because in my opinion, I think this is the embodiment of what social media is right now. And it's unfair. The treatment is unfair. And that has nothing to do with whether they are right or wrong. It's just unfair that she's taking all the hits. She's catching the strays, and he ain't catching no smoke. D-Gun is my man, dude. I got mad love for D-Gun. So, the comma blotter. I didn't get in trouble, man. I didn't get in trouble in school, man. I was a choir boy, man. You remember that? You remember that scene in Boy? Y'all might not remember. Y'all might be too young. If you've seen Boys in the Hood, classic movie, phenomenal movie. There's a scene in that movie where Doughboy, Ice Cube's character, and what was his name? Was it Richie? What's the main dude's? Cuba Gooding Jr. I forget what his name was in the movie. They are riding after Doughboy's brother, after Ricky gets killed. So they are riding to find the gang that did it. And Doughboy knows where they are. And he stops and lets him out. He's like, I'm not about this. Get out. That happened to me one time. I was me and my roommate, we went to high school together, and it was like 4 or 5 of us from the same high school at Eastern Kentucky. And I don't even remember what went down, but we was driving around trying to find these dudes, and it was about to go down. And my roommate pulled the car over and it was like, get out, roommate. This ain't you, dog. Get out. And I don't want to get you in trouble, because I was big man on campus. I was a football star, all of that type of stuff. I was ascending, and he knew that. And he knew I wasn't about that life fighting and all of that kind of stuff, but I was going to back my boy. But he was like, get out, dog. This ain't you. And I don't even think they ended up fighting, but I remember that because he thought enough of me and what I had going on that he was like, nah, this ain't you, dog. We got it. Kicked me out the car. So things like this, it all comes down to personality. Dianna Russini and Mike Vrabel were messy, very messy. And like I said, he wasn't smashing her. They were in a relationship. So, no, not necessarily. My roommate, I wouldn't call them street dudes. Far from it. But we were in a situation, knowing what my status was on campus, on the team, all of that kind of stuff. If something happened to me and I get in a fight and I get kicked off the team or something like that, that affects the team, people's scholarships, all of that type of stuff. Because when I say I was the man, so I'm responsible. I'm a big reason why we are winning. So if something goes down, it's a ripple effect. So it ain't about they were street dudes or anything like that. It wasn't about that. But I understand your point, though. But it wasn't that. So I'm just talking about from the standpoint of you stopping a situation and you realizing that somebody, you looking out for their future, somebody don't belong in this. It's like you are not going to benefit from this situation. So, yeah, my roommate, to this day, if I call him today, I won't call him by his name. He'll answer the phone. I'll be like, what's up, roommate? To this day. So all my people down there, man. Shout out to all my friends, Doobie, Mark, my boy, my frat brother, Ron Carpenter. All my people from Cincinnati, Ohio. So you heard me say that a long time ago. That's why when I tell y'all the story with why I ride with Kelsey Mitchell. I don't know Kelsey Mitchell. I've never met her, but I knew her father. Her father was a very good friend of mine. Her father was the reason I got into college. I was in their wedding. Her parents, I was in their wedding. So I am invested in her success because of my friend. Never met her. Because when I got out of college, I immediately came up to Philadelphia and never went back home. I started playing with the Eagles and stayed in the area, met my wife and stayed in the area. So I didn't have a reason to go back home like that. Every now and then I'd go home, go to the high school, go to the football game, and I would see him there. We would interact, we would dap, grip each other up, hug Cheryl, all that type of stuff. But it was at a distance because I was somewhere else. But that was my boy. And by proxy, I'm going to support and root for his daughter. She don't know me from Adam. You wrong, dog. You stupid. Oh, you stupid. Yeah, man. Everybody got them. Everybody got them, man. The fellas. That's what we used to call each other when we was in college. The fellas. I go home sometimes, and even on social media, some of my friends from home that still interact. Some of my friends still call me by the nickname they called me when we was in high school. Just like that. So, but in any case, man, we look at all of this stuff. It's amazing the more I talk and the more we interact with each other over a topic like this. It's amazing how something like this can make you go up and down on a range of emotions and thoughts and memories of the stuff that you used to do. And we started talking about Dianna Russini and Mike Vrabel, and I end up talking about the things I went through in the 70s and 80s and how it's different. It's amazing how this conversation has the path it's taken. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead and land this plane, man. It's a good conversation, though. I appreciate y'all, man. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. We got 42 people in the building. I appreciate that. I'm still trying to stay above my 100 yards a game, man. I got to get 100 people. That's the goal. That's the goal. So we building slowly but surely, man. So, but yeah, man, I'm gonna land this plane, man. Y'all enjoy y'all day. Go out and get your flowers and cook breakfast and all that kind of stuff for the mothers in the building. Shout out to all the mothers in the building if you are. I'm gonna run out. I probably shouldn't have talked too long. I'm gonna find out what my wife wants to do. I might have to run to the Amish market, pick her up some stuff. Definitely got to go out and grab her some flowers and stuff like that. And then I will be back for the game at 1:00. I am not going to live stream it. I'm not going to. Well, I might live stream. It depends on if I get back in time. If I get back in time, I will. But if the game is on mid-game, by the time I get back, I'm not going to live stream it. I'll just wait till it's over and then give my comments, or wait till the end of the day. So, but I will try to be back in time to live stream it. So we'll see. But I'm going to get up out of here. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Man, the chat was fire today. Eric, Kevin, Ian, everybody, man. Panda, Notarayu, appreciate you. Lester Johnson, appreciate you. Everybody, man. Conversation was outstanding this morning, man. Just keep it up, man. But y'all go ahead, enjoy your day. Enjoy your Saturday. Be safe. Be with your family. And have a good one, man. And I will see y'all soon enough. Hopefully, there won't be too much breaking news today, so I can enjoy the games and see the Fever play. But I'm going to get up out of here. Enjoy y'all day, man. And I will talk to y'all soon. Peace and go Birds. Yo, 2026 and the link is feeling cold. Stories of a super runner getting kinda old. Jalen under fire, say his vision's getting tight. Calling them uncoachable every single night. AJ in the tray, got me in my field. Mr. Hollywood is the brownest on the field. Man, he ain't calling plays, I'll be searching for the spark. Eagles flying solo, hunting shadows in the dark. Vrabel and Russini trying to launch a master plan. Ever since the photos got you sitting with the fans. Draft day approaching, how we sitting on the
his perch. Gotta fill some holes, so you know he's on the search. 10 toes down with the Eagles on the scene. Watching out for Cap, cause your boy is bleeding green. Searching through the trending topics, info, moving slow. Pro fan talk, always keep you in the know. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Where the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Where the real ones bar. From the birds to the league.